Alright guys, what's up and welcome back. So I got something really sick that just arrived. Today was stamp day. Got this in a 5-day individual approval. So really stoked about that. Is the Otter Labs Infinity. So this is a 100% 718 ink now 3D printed suppressor. 30 cal can, and it's going to be a flow-through style can. So I've been having issues with elevated lead levels. So I needed to do something about that. That's why you guys have noticed that I have not been shooting suppressed. But also shooting unsuppressed is bad for your hearing. So I wanted to get into something that would allow me to put a gun muffler back on to the end of my rifles and help me out a little bit. Now with 14.5, I'm still not going to be suppressing this just because I don't really feel the need. They're not as concussive as like my 10.5. And I'm also going to be throwing this on my new 308 bolt gun as well. So I just kind of want to give you guys some first looks at this can, let y'all know what it is that you're actually getting with it out of the box, and also give you my first shots, first impressions with the different end caps, the vented and solid end cap on a 14.5 inch 5.56, as well as the solid end cap on the end of a 308. So a couple really cool things that I've noticed about this, and it is some really cool design ideas, is one of the things I was worried about with having a suppressor that takes different end caps is having to actually Loctite or rock set the end caps into the suppressors, and Otter has gotten around that by actually putting a taper on the edge of these end caps. And if you know anything about how taper and how physics works, is when you have a taper on the end of a bearing surface, you're not going to have to worry about that object walking away, and you don't have to glue these in here in order to get them to stay in. They include a tool that interfaces with the end of your end cap, as well as a looks like a 3D printed polymer clamp, which I've already used to install the mounting interface with the can. A lot of really cool things out of the box. I don't have the 5.56 end cap out here. I'm probably never going to use it. I'm probably going to be running the vented end cap when I have this thing on any kind of a gas gun host, and then the solid end cap when I'm running this on a 308. But it does come with a 5.56 end cap as well. Now the end caps that I got, they come with this heat-treated look. I personally don't like that, so I just use some high-temp grill paint. It's 2,000-degree grill paint to put on the end of that, and eventually these will patina out, and they'll be a dark color, and I won't have to really worry about it when the paint wears off, but for now, they're painted. I like to look at the grill paint on there. So to get them off, again, you don't have to worry about these walking off because of the tapers, but they are really easy to actually uninstall. The whole thing just screws into the end like that. Kind of give you guys a look at that, and then as well as the blast chamber. So it uses an inch and 375, I believe, by 24 or 28 thread pitch, one of those two. This is standard hub compatible. Despite what Q says about hub compatible suppressors, this is superior. You can choose whatever muzzle device it is that you want, and I keep hearing him say about, especially in his recent video, talking trash on specifically Otter Labs, about how tolerance issues and accuracy issues. I've got a bunch of hub cans, and all of my guns are shooting sub-minute, so you know, kind of take that for what it is. But I've got a 4Controls Designs Revival Defense hub mount on here. It's their Atlas mount that works with the Plan B home of mounts, Plan B style mounts. I pretty much got rid of all my Q mounts, and I've got all the Revival Defense. I'll be getting a couple of rear ends here. I got an SLR on my 308, but it does use that same interface. If you have a cherry bomb, it'll work with that. The one that I got is the FDE look. I do like the FDE a lot. It looks really good. It's a high temp Cerakote, I'm assuming. And then to install the actual end cap, you just screw it in until it stops. You take your wrench, and you just give it a real quick torque like that. That's really all you need to do. So let's go ahead and get the camera set up. I've got some Federal M1, or Winchester rather, M193. This is the stuff that's made in the Lake City plant, so it's the same stuff as the old Federal. Going to give you guys, as best as I can, a sound comparison between with and without the different ink with the vented end cap. Over camera, it's not really going to translate real well to what it does to the shooter's ear, but I have already fired a couple of rounds with the non-vented as well as a vented end cap, and to the shooter's ear, I can't tell a difference between the two, but I am sure that downrange with the vented end cap, it is going to be louder because it's blowing all of that gas forward and out. But I did notice, while with the non-vented 7.62 end cap, the gas blowback is not bad at all, with a 14.5 at least. But when I put the vented end cap, there was zero gas blowback, and actually my brass was coming out relatively clean, so that was pretty impressive as well. So I'm going to start with the vented end cap on the 14.5. Just run a couple of drills real quick, and then I'll swap over the end caps. All right, so I think the note that I've noticed is the process whenever you do 3D printing, it leaves little particulates behind, and I'm finding those little particulates in my action. I doubt it really hurt anything. It'll probably blow it out the end. But we're gonna do, so this is the vented end cap first. I'm just gonna do 5 quick rounds at about 10 yards right here. That'll be, I guess, the best way to tell if you feel any gas, because pressure will build up and it'll start pushing it backwards in your face or out the front of the gun. You know, who knows? Yeah, and there's nothing coming back at all. And good way you can also tell, so you know, usually whenever you shoot suppressed, your rounds are gonna get all dirty. There's absolutely nothing coming back. And something I've also noticed is, damn, does this thing shoot flat with this can on it. It could very well be the weight, because this thing is very, very heavy, and that might be a deal breaker for some people. I don't really mind it. I understand the weight. The weight is, you can't really have your cake and eat it too, especially with suppressors. If you're going to build a super lightweight suppressor, the can is going to be super thin, and it's not going to be able to hold up to as much abuse as your heavier cans. I'm not sure on the weight of this compared to something like a Surefire, but I'll see about annotating that, the Surefire weight compared to the weight of this, specifically an RC3. I'll compare an RC3 because that's going to be more of an apples to apples for what this is, but it is a little bit bigger as well. I think a Surefire is 1.5 inches diameter. This is 1.7 inches in diameter, so it's a little bit thicker. You can see actually the step up, so that's the normal diameter of a can, and then it steps out just a little bit there. But damn, that's impressive. Keep in mind I'm coming from a K can, so you're hearing that from the perspective of a shooter that's been shooting a can that adds like that much length and has like 4 baffles in it, compared to this has got like, I don't know, shit, probably like fucking 9 baffles in it. So it's quite a bit more volume in this can versus what I'm normally used to shooting. But yeah, that shoots super soft. Let's go ahead, throw the solid end cap on there and see the difference we have on the ammunition as well. All right, now the solid end cap. So I believe that the way Otter Creek works is there's different levels to how much this can vents. So your 308 vented end cap is going to be like the maximum venting ability of the actual suppressor. You're going to get the most flow through, or reduced back pressure, however they word it. Then the solid 7.62 end cap is like a step below that with its venting, so you're going to have a little bit increase in back pressure, but it's not going to be nearly as much. And they have designed these to still sound really good on a 5.56. And then you can step down to the 5.56 end cap, which is going to increase the back pressure, the overall back pressure, by significantly more. I don't know yet because I haven't fired the 5.56 end cap. I don't have it out here, and I don't really plan on running it on this anyways. But there's also a vented 5.56 end cap, which is between this one and the solid 5.56. So you've got like different levels that you can tailor to it, which is something that I like. It's really cool. And then also having the removable end cap. One of the most common ways to have a suppressor damaged is an end cap strike. So you don't have to send it to them to have it repaired. You can just repair it yourself. You can send that in for a warranty if you want to. I don't know if they'll warranty the end caps or not. It'd be pretty cool if they did, but I don't think they're too expensive, so it's not something I would really worry about. I'd probably just buy another one if it did, but still. So I got the solid 7.62 end cap on here. I'm gonna do the same thing, 5 rounds at about 10 yards, quickly, in quick succession. See if there's a noticeable sound difference. I don't really notice it back here, but you might on the camera. Maybe it'll pick it up, maybe it won't. Also, watch ejection pattern. While you don't want to chase ejection patterns to make it shoot 3 o'clock, it will be a symptom of increased gassing in the overall system. So let's see how this does. Yeah, yeah, I am feeling more gas with that. It's still not bad. It's still nowhere near as bad as my 5.56 can, but there definitely is more gas coming backwards. And the ammunition doesn't look too bad, but there is definitely a noticeable silt built up on the ammo. You can see where I rubbed it right there. It's not as bad as a traditional 5.56 can, but still does exist, which they advertise that's how that's going to be. It's still not bad at all. And the tone on this can, so I'll pull my ear forward, is really good. So the can actually sounds really good, at least to my ear. And again, that's going to be anecdotal. Different things are going to sound different to different people. But it is a really nice can. I'm very happy with this purchase. I think it's gonna serve me well. Let's go ahead, go over to zero range. I'm gonna throw this on my 308 bolt gun, and we'll get you guys an idea of exactly what these sound like out of a 308. Now I'm gonna use the solid 7.62 end cap on the end of that. There's no reason to vent a bolt gun because it all vents out the front anyways, and the vented end cap will just increase the noise signature. So let's go ahead and get that set up, see what you think. All right, guys, so I got 5 rounds loaded up in here. Just gonna go show you how it sounds on a bolt gun. I would assume it's gonna be really good. Suppressors usually sound good on bolt guns because there's zero port pop, because everything goes out the front of the gun. But I got just some cider loads from 168 grain Sierra Match Kings. About a 0.8 MOA group going down there. Pretty good. And this is just a thrown together load. This ain't even anything special really. This is just one that I had put together to get some ciders for my more expensive, more accurate loads that I'm running out of this gun. But man, this thing sounds good on this gun. Solid end cap. It was still hot from whenever I was running 5.56, so it's blistering hot now, and I'm getting quite a bit of mirage out of this now. All right, so I've only got a couple of rounds of these left, so instead of checking it at 100, I know my horizontal's good to go. I'll just go ahead and check it at 6. So I got 14.5 dialed in. I did not grab my spotting camera this morning, so you guys are just going to get a gun view today, and I'll show the group after the fact. But let's see how on this thing is. Yep, I would say that's on. So I've got, I don't know, probably 0.6 to 0.7 MOA group going down there at 600. So very happy with that. And there's not really any, I mean, like zero that I did, correcting it, just moving it to the other. Good to go. Awesome. All right. All right, guys. So final thoughts. First impressions on this can is sounds really good. I mean, it might just be the fact that I bought it, so I've got buyer's bias. You can say that, but I would challenge you to try one of these out for yourself. See exactly what you think. First impressions for me is the can sounds really good. I can't really complain about it. It does what it's advertised to do, which is to be a flow-through style or reduced bag pressure can. Does that really well with the 14.5. I did not notice any gas to the face when I was running the vented end cap. The solid 762 end cap, I am getting a little bit of gas to the face, but that's kind of to be expected. And then I would expect with the 5.56 solid end cap, there's probably going to be quite a bit more, but it's going to sound better. So, you know, can't really have your cake and eat it too when it comes to these kind of cans. So that's something you do need to keep in mind. Now, I do have very limited exposure to flow-through style cans. I have fired or used 3 at this point. So obviously the Otter Creek Labs. I've also fired a Surefire RC3, as well as a Huxworks Flow can. It was a 30 cal can. And comparing this just to my limited experience with the Huxworks, this does sound better to me, but the Huxworks can I think was a little bit smaller. I mean, I think it was in about that, so a little bit more volume that you're getting out of this can versus the Huxworks. And the Surefire RC3, I thought that can was incredibly loud, and I would say that this is, even with the flow through end cap, this can is significantly quieter than the RC3 was. So that's just kind of my opinion. It's kind of anecdotal, so take it as what as well. It's just more or less a first impressions video. But I do plan on doing a comparison with several different types of flow-through cans. There's a third or fourth flow-through can, rather, I just thought of. That's my buddy Chad. He's got a B&T. He's got 2 B&T flow-through cans, so a fifth. You got a titanium one, and then whatever that real big, thick, chunky boy is. But I've had the Ear Pro on the whole time I was firing around that. This one and the other two are the only ones I have fired without having Ear Pro on, and they all sound similar with ears on, so that's kind of is what it is. But first impressions, guys, very nice can. I am happy with this purchase. I feel like that this thing will go the long haul. It'll be able to withstand the kind of abuse that we've put it through. They have done a lot of work into ensuring that this is an extremely durable can, and being as it's completely 3D printed 718 Inconel, I have zero doubts on the overall durability and how this thing will perform. So stay tuned for in the future, guys, because we are going to be doing a comparison with several other flow-through style cans. It's going to be kind of hard to differentiate to you guys what it is they sound like to us, because the camera is going to make loud noises quieter and quieter noises louder. So take that for what it is, but we will be doing a flash comparison on multiple different hosts. If it's a 30 cal can, we'll be running it on a 5.56 and a 30 cal, comparing both flash suppression on both of those devices at night, as well as signature reduction. And then, of course, the comparison directly to the 5.56 cans. I'll throw the 5.56 end cap on here, and you can kind of get a bit of a comparison with that as well, as far as the flash mitigation goes, as well as the noise down range. But guys, if you do have any questions, drop them down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I appreciate y'all watching. All right, got it zeroed out for 500 yards. Just check. Not really much wind right now. It's my favorite center. Getting low. See if there's a wind down there. I'm not, because this flag's not moving. So I came up half a minute. Yeah, that's what it was. Still hair low, but not bad. Which also could have been a wind thing. I don't know. I can't hardly see down there right now. I don't have my spotting camera with me today, so you guys just get the boring old regular view of the AR shooting. But damn, does this thing sound good. And it shoots smooth with this flow through. It actually kind of acts almost like a big ass muzzle brake, because I mean, I have no movement on this thing when I'm shooting this distance. I mean, the gun just doesn't budge. pretty insane. Honestly, I could probably double tap that 300. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna put 2 rounds in the magazine. I don't want to burn too much ammo. I'm gonna try a double tap on that 300. Hold, I'm gonna go, yeah, I'll go 3.7. I think that's my hold for this, for the 300-yard line. Hope if I load it, at least my trigger pull's good. Both hits. Only 3.75 was the hold though, because I'm low. I'm about a minute low on the plate. It was more like 4. I think it was 4.5. I think is my hold for this. I'll have to look in the ballistic app for it, but both of those are hits. This thing shoots pretty damn good.